So in chapter 1 we cover the ideas of identifying keywords and also the patterns like outline and what are the things that are included in the English general paper essay, and the complete structures we already understand in chapter 1. So in chapter 2 we'll be covering about how to write introductions. So these are the overview of introductions. Like, this chapter explains how to write the introductions to an English general paper essay. It covers the following areas: opening statement, first thing, and thesis statement. The final slide of the chapter will allow you to link to activity 2, where you will be trying your hand at writing thesis statement and opening sentence. I'll let you know about this later. So why is the introduction important? Yeah, the reader's examiner's first impressions of essay comes from reading the introduction. The introduction is what makes the reader decide if he or she will enjoy reading your essay. The introductions will also tell the reader how you will be tackling the essay. A poorly written introduction gives the immediate impressions that the essay which follows will not be satisfactory. Hooray! Good introductions means good essay. You can see here. Opening statement. So here, opening statement means refers to the first couple of sentences in your introductions. This can give the impression that it will be a very insightful essay or very original thought provoking one. An essay with no focus or a dull and boring essay. Look at the following examples of opening statements on an essay. Should same-sex marriages be legalized? According to a survey by Washington Post carried out in June 2015, 6 out of 10 Americans support same-sex marriage. Good essay coming. Some people agree with same-sex marriages, others don't. Bad. So yes, but what you have to remember is, like, before going to sit in exams, first thing you should do is like gather few evidence like this so that you can put this in the introductions. Opening statement. There are many effective ways of starting an essay. The following are some techniques you can use. Open with interesting statistics like we used before. Open with a quotation. You can write the quotations of anyone. Open with a question. Open with a definition. Open with an opinion. Open with a thesis statement. Open with an anecdote, short story. So you have got multiples of things in opening statement. You can choose anyone. Choose the method which you feel most comfortable with. Just do which you feel comfortable. Opening with interesting statistics. So, to what extent has the course of history been determined by the contribution of individuals? Bill Gates' Microsoft Windows is used by 1.5 billion people today. Over 6 billion people are dependent on electricity, made possible by Thomas Edison, who created the electric light bulb. This opener shows the reader that you know your stuff, and even before you write a thesis statement, the reader knows that you should be along with the right track. However, you may not always be ready with statistics on topics which appears in the examination. So just gather, like, in your particular field, like just gather few statistics like this so that it will help you. Opening with a quotation. To what extent has the course same questions? Winston Churchill said, "History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it." He decided not to give in during World War II and thus helped determine the outcome of the war. This opener can impress an examiner into knowing you are knowledgeable. You know the history very well. Remember, though, that you can only use quotation when what you have is relevant to the topic, and this does not happen that often. Opening with questions. Would 5 million Jews have been killed in the Holocaust without Hitler? Would we be able to enjoy our smartphones without Alexander Graham Bell? Without a doubt, every action by mankind has determined the course of history. So these things actually, it's very simple thing I could say, but you should know how to write this opener, so that you have hit the nail on the head. This opener is much easier to coordinate. You just need to ask a couple of rhetorical questions and then link them to the question. Rhetorical questions always. Opening with definitions. Contribution in this context can be defined as a part played by a person to bring out about a result or change which may be for the better or worse. Individuals have contributed both positively and negatively to the course of history. This opener explains clearly how you have interpreted the questions. You will not limit your essay to individuals who have only done good. This method is only applicable to questions where you need to define terms which may be interpreted in different ways. Many essay topics are explicit, so there is no need to define anything. Opening your opinion and background information. History is a record of mankind's story. We learn from history, I believe, that the course of history is largely the result of actions of individuals, although there are exceptions to the case. This opener shows you agree to a large extent, although not completely. This is one of two direct ways of tackling the questions right from the first sentence. However, it can prove boring and dull. Do not do this thing. Opening with a thesis statement. What was happened over the decades is largely the result of contribution by individuals. However, groups affiliated to religion or certain ideologies as well as Mother Nature have also helped decide on the course of history. This tells the reader your stand and essay you will be covering in the essay. This is a direct way of approaching the questions, although it may not be the most interesting way. Opening with the anecdote. A baby was born in Bethlehem to a Virgin Mary, who was fathered in her by the Holy Spirit of God. And the story goes, that angel announced his arrival in song, Jesus as well as all religions throughout the course of history. If you have sought, this method is not recommended as students can, so don't use it. So the method you'll use in EGP is with facts, statistical facts. That is going to help you. Introduction, an opening statement, and thesis statement. This gives a preview of the major point argument to be covered. So for introduction, you'll write opening statement where you'll put some statistical definitions, opinions, so on, and also thesis. Introductions cover opening statement and thesis statement. What is thesis statement? I talk a lot about thesis statement, and I did not tell you what it actually means. The thesis statement is that sentence or two in which your introduction and the contents, the focus of your essay, and tells your reader what the essay is going to be about. It is the central idea of the essay. It can be the first sentence of an essay or anywhere in the introduction. An essay without a thesis statement is an essay without a focus. So always mention thesis statement in essay is the key point. It navigates where you want to go in essay. It should show your standpoint for the essay. The thesis statement. Formulate a thesis statement before you start writing the essay. First thing, formulate. Make sure you have a clear and workable thesis. Use the thesis statement as a guide to writing the essay. The scope of the intent in the essay. The thesis statement shows how much you intend to cover in the essay. Compare it to an umbrella. Everything in the essay has to fit under this umbrella. If you include information that doesn't fit it, you'll either have to get a bigger umbrella or a thesis statement or something going to get weight, so remove it. Anything outside gets weight, so put inside an umbrella. Don't go far. So why a thesis statement? To cover all the points to any essay question requires the writing of lengthy research paper. It is necessary to identify 4 to 5 main points, arguments you are going to cover. These form the thesis statement and give your reader a preview of what you will be touching on it in your essay. Writing a thesis statement. Children should be proud of nature, not of science. What is your opinion? Can we write a good paper of 500-600 words if you're going to explain how children are produced naturally? And move on to IVF and other methods, their pros and cons, and finally continue to give your opinion. Such a discussion will be too lengthy. Limit discussions to work that you can accomplish within the limit 500 to 600 words. So write a thesis statement to show which points you will be writing on in your essay. Thesis statement for these questions: as long as children are loved, taught the right values, given a proper education, and made aware of their rights, it doesn't matter whether they are products of nature or science. Informative essay: how to take effective photograph. To take pictures, photograph must be. Evaluate. Assess the advantages and disadvantages of hydroelectric power generation. Hydroelectric power is renewable, reliable, environment-friendly, cheap, and easily available. However, it cannot be denied that it involves a high initial investment and that its construction may adversely affect nature and humans. So, final introductions. Opening using statistics. Hydropower is the most important and widely used renewable resources of nature energy. It represents 20% of total electricity production, so there is no doubt that it has more advantages than disadvantages. Hydroelectric power is renewable, reliable, environment friendly. So what you do is, first in introduction you'll join opening and thesis statement together. Errors in thesis statement. So these are the errors.